Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Christine and this is Everyday Yoga. I think bringing yoga to your life every day, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, can bring so many benefits to your life, to your well-being, to bringing peace and harmony into your mind and into your body. So I share these practices with you in the hopes that you find them beneficial. And if you do, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know if there's anything else you would like to see or any kind of practices that you're interested in, and I'd be more than happy to share those with you as well. For today, we're going to go ahead and start standing on our mats. So let's go ahead and meet on the mat. So let's go ahead and start standing on the mat. You can be facing the short edge or the long edge, whatever serves you best. We're going to start by doing a circle practice today. So we're going to bring some rotation to as many joints as possible. So starting in mountain pose with the feet right underneath the hip points, and that's these little AS-IS bones right here, or as-is bones. So the feet are right in line with those bones. That's what we mean by hip width apart. Not as wide. This would be more of a wider stance. So press into those feet. Maybe lift the toes up and set them back down, allowing there to be space in between all of the toes. Kind of rock forward a little and maybe a little back so that you can find a place where you're really nice and tall and neither too far forward or too far back. Have these little hip points kind of pointed upward so that that draws the tailbone down long behind you. And as you do that, kind of gently traction those thighs inwards to make space in the low back. Lift the shoulders up to the ears and then bring them back and down, finding space here, drawing them away, letting them belong down towards the tailbone. You can rotate the arms open so that the palms are shining forward in the same direction as your heart. Lift that heart. Tuck that chin gently, almost as if you're trying to make a double chin here, or a triple, or whatever the case may be, but not quite that far. And that draws the crown of the head up towards the sky. So we're a nice long line here. And let's just take a nice cleansing breath here to get started. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Let's do that 3 times. Maybe close the eyes. Challenge your balance even here. And once again, inhale through the nose. Fill up the belly and let it go. Let's bring the breath back to the nose if that's available for you. I know many are suffering through allergies this time of year, end of spring, beginning of summer. So do what you need to do. Pause the video to blow your nose if you need to. Breathe through the mouth if that serves you best. Just always honor your body, but you can still find some movement and bring a little restoration to those joints. So let's start by making little circles with the nose. And we'll just go in one direction. Doesn't matter which one, because we are just going to switch and go in the other one. And just kind of make little circles, getting a little bit of movement in the neck here. Maybe closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Maybe drawing bigger and bigger circles. Really letting this be nourishing for your neck by letting the circles be as big or as small as feels comfortable in your neck. And then when you've come to about as big a circle as you feel comfortable, and you bring the nose back up towards the sky, go ahead and reverse the circles here, keeping them just as big, because in this direction we're going to take them smaller and smaller. Your gaze can follow along with the neck. And just start to bring them down closer to center. Smaller and smaller. Until finally we come back to center. And then let's make circles with the top of the head as if you're trying to draw them on the ceiling. So just really gently, subtly at first. Think about if you had a crayon or a pen or something poking up through the top of your head, or you're wearing a stupid looking hat with it glued on, and you're trying to make little circles here on the ceiling. It's a little awkward. Let's reverse the circles. Sometimes we get into kind of awkward poses in yoga. They're not necessarily painful. They should never be painful. But they can feel a little weird, almost like trying to pat your belly or rub the belly and pat the head at the same time. But being okay with awkwardness really can serve us. Let's come back to center. Let's draw the arms out ahead of us, reaching the fingertips forward, and let's just make circles out and around with the wrists in one direction. Again, doesn't matter which, because we're just going to switch it up and then switch it up. And then let's go ahead and lower the arms. And let's bring them all the way back and around. We can start small here or start big. So let's go ahead and start small. I got a little ahead of myself. Let's just start small, do those old-fashioned little arm circles like they used to do back in the day to tone up the triceps and the biceps and build a little strength here. And again, these circles can start getting bigger and bigger, almost kind of like you're swimming through an ocean or the pool, and nice and slow and fluid and flowy. And when you get those circles as big as feels comfortable in your shoulders, let's go ahead and reverse the circles, this time going from big to small. Around and around. Getting smaller and smaller. Sometimes we have awkward things that come up in our lives that can be scary, an awkward conversation or situation. And let those arms float back down towards the earth. And being okay with awkwardness can help us through those moments. Now, go ahead and find a stationary focal point out in front of you somewhere. Maybe not looking directly at me, because I might get a little wobbly and I don't want to throw you off. But we're going to really bring all the way into the right leg here. Peel the left heel from the earth. And then go ahead and lift the left foot and clasp your hands around the knee. Might need to bend forward a little bit to get there, but once you do, draw those shoulder blades down the back, tuck the chin, lift the heart, and really press firmly through that right foot without locking the knee. And then let's just make circles with the ankle here. One direction. Might get some snap, crackle, pops there. As long as they're not painful, they can be very beneficial. And then reverse the circles. Remembering to breathe. Remembering to soften where you can. Whoop. Remembering to keep your eye on your focal point to help aid the balance. And then let's go ahead and release the left leg down. Maybe tap the top of the feet on top of the mat to get a little relief. Those are lots of tiny little muscles and ligaments and things that have to work to keep that leg stable. And draw back into your mountain pose. get all the weight over here in that left leg. Peel the right heel from the earth, and then lift the right knee up into your clasped hands. But this time, instead of defaulting to how you always clasp your hands, because we all have that default, let's shift all the fingers over so we're kind of in that awkward hand clasp. It can feel a little strange. Again, maybe reach down to grab it and then draw it up towards the collarbones, drawing the shoulders down the back. You might notice you're a little more wobbly or less wobbly on this side than the first side. Really press down through that left foot to stay nice and stable. And then let's make our circles with the right ankle in this kind of awkward pose with the hand clasp. Getting comfortable in the awkwardness. And then let's reverse the circles. Evening things out. Woo! And if you fall out, that's okay. Just come on back. Finish your circles. And then gently release. Let's tap out the tops of the feet. And now we're going to make some circles in the hips here. So you might want to find a wall or a chair or a table or something that you can reach out to for extra support. We're going to bring the hands to the hips here. Reestablish that mountain pose. Reestablish the connection with the breath here. And then we'll come back to weight in the right leg, peeling the left heel, lifting the knee without clasping it this time, and drawing the knee up and out to begin with, making our circles here in the hip. Again, feel free to use a chair or wall for support here. Find that focal point someplace nice and stationary that you can take your gaze to help aid with the balance. And then the next time you draw the knee back to center, go ahead and reverse the circles, going down and out first, and up and in. Might get some snap, crackle, pops here too. Just lubricating that hip joint. And when you're ready to release, just gently bring the left foot back down to the earth. Come back to your mountain pose. Reestablish connection with the breath. Notice where you might be tense or gripping and see if you can bring softness. A lot of us grip in the jaw, clenching the teeth. Or you might find that you're really clenching your fists. Just take a quick scan of the body and notice where you can bring a little softness. And then come back to hands on hips or one hand on your support. Bring all the weight into the left leg. Peel the right heel from the earth. Lift the right knee up and begin making our circles. Keep that heart lifted. Keep the chin tucked. Keep the shoulders down the back towards the tailbone. And then when you're ready, reverse the circles. Getting a little movement here too. And then let's go ahead and release the right foot down to the earth. Let's shake it out a little bit. Shake out the arms. Shake out the legs. Just get a little funky with it, maybe. And then we'll come back to center here. And let's go ahead and kind of make some circles with the arms here. Inhaling the arms out and up and around, bringing the palms together and exhaling hands to heart. And then inhale to lift the hands and exhale to float them down in front of you, crisscrossing in front of the hips. Inhale up, bringing the palms together and down to the heart. Maybe follow the hands with the gaze, getting a little bit more movement here in the neck. And as you crisscross down in front of the hips, Notice which hand comes in front naturally. And the next time you crisscross, bring the opposite hand in front, leaning into that awkwardness. Finding length, finding expansion, really taking up space here. Whoops, crisscrossing down at the bottom. And up at the top and down to heart. 2 more times, moving with the breath. The next time you come down to crisscross, just keep going all the way down, swan diving down to forward fold, Uttanasana. I'm going to turn toward the side so you can see here, but I am just letting the weight go here. Bring your hands to your tops of your knees here, bending the knees generously, or to the shins or the tops of the feet, or down to the earth, wherever it feels comfortable in your body. And we're just going to hang here for a moment, and then maybe you might want to cradle your elbows in your palms and really tuck that chin. Inhale, noticing how the back stretches out. And then exhaling to just release the weight of the head, getting a nice traction in the back of the spine, releasing the low back. Keeping the knees bent as generously as feels good to you, or if you want more of a stretch in the hamstrings, you can bring them towards straight as long as you don't lock them out. And then let's switch the clasps. So whatever way you have your elbows cradled, bring the opposite arm in front. And re-cradle those elbows again, leaning into that awkward position. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and release everything. Let's inhale to a flat back, bringing the palms to the tops of the thighs. And continuing to breathe here, extend the crown of the head away from the tailbone, just like we do in mountain pose. So we're still in mountain pose. The heart's lifted towards the front here instead of towards the sky. The tailbone is down long, the chin is tucked, the shoulder blades are down the back. You can hug the elbows in toward one another and really find some length here. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and release. And then let's roll up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Rounding up through the shoulders, inhaling the arms up and overhead and exhaling palms to heart. And then let's do just a few more circles here, bringing the palms, hands to hips. And maybe step the feet out a little bit wider than hip width. And let's just make circles with the hips here. Again, doesn't matter which way, because we're going to switch it up to even it out. And really keep these circles as generous as feels good in your body. You can start small, but get as big as you feel comfortable with, really leaning into it. Thinking about maybe, what if your hips were the beaters of a bowl? Well, wait, that's not a good analogy. What if you were scraping the inside of a bowl that you had just made cookie dough in and you wanted to get every last drop? And so you take your rubber scraper and you just scrape the sides of the bowl all the way around. Now I want to make cookies. And next time you come to the front, reverse the circles, scrape that bowl, keep a gentle bend in the knees. Get all that cookie dough What do you think? Chocolate chip? I have chocolate chips. Of course, I also have peanut butter. Maybe I should do peanut butter cookies. And around and around. Scrape that bowl. And then let's make the circles a little smaller. Starting to come back to center. And let's heel toe the feet back in line with the hips. Release the hands. Inhale the arms up alongside the ears. Find those palms. And exhale, bringing the gaze down with the thumbs to the heart. Bowing down towards the fingertips here, getting one last nice big stretch in the back of the neck. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very grateful that you came along and experienced some awkward circles with me. I hope the rest of your day is filled with peace, harmony, and well-being. Namaste.